Take a seat.
To kick off this morning on a fairly somber note, what I'd like to do is ask our panelists to talk about what they see as some of the challenges, and the challenges are really immediate, and the trends that they see shaping the immediate future, and then to move from that discussion through to what the ramifications of those challenges are for our lives and how we do business. To start off this morning, maybe Robert, could I ask you for some reflections on what those challenges are, and of course what opportunities they might present. Thank you.
Well, I think the first thing we do is really to get all the media together, to work in partnership and to help the people. Right now, what happened in Mumbai is because the media has not done enough to let the people and the social responsibility of the companies. We should have more of that. We have all that positive media and social responsible companies who live with families that understands it. And television media, I'm thinking in terms that we have to really give people hope. I think people live on hope, and what the terrorists happen and all this is because they don't have hope. We have the television, and we give examples. They should show the more positive things. Negative things you should always come to a lot of more positive, but all you see is all negative things on television. I'm very strongly against that. News have to cover that, no doubt, but they should balance it with some positive example and good. I guess that right now I find that television do not give enough positive message out, and I hope that the media would follow suit, because what I do is really different. A lot of media people think what I do is not maybe like Jack would say crazy, because it's not proper making the thing. Like when I first started doing something 12 years ago, family program, family channel, no sex, no violence, no news, but that still like Disney is a clean, people respect the channel, the discovery, all this. We need really to have more of this kind of channels that can give positive message. Reality television is what it should be. And I think opportunity-wise, as far as on media side is concerned, I think it's a chance for us to recruit better people. Is more people available because of the crisis. There's a chance to just retain good people. Well, I'm talking about this. Television, what we have is that in the programs you have, you can always teach people now through stress, and there's something we do on television to explain to people how they can really not be so stressful. Give them ways out, advise them. If you don't have all that, you have a lot of problems that comes along with it.
Well, thank you very much for that. There's a very important question that's come up in what you said. The strength of the companies represented on this panel and the individuals is that they've actually achieved profitability. I'm thinking in particular of the Banyan Tree Group. At the same time as pursuing the sort of social goals that you're talking about, positive messaging, taking responsibility, and delivering back into the community. Can I ask you, is it actually possible in your business and in media more broadly to reconcile the idea of profit in business, which is ultimately what the corporate sector is all about, with the challenge of community?
I'm caught this morning, feeling that, looking at the glass half full, I'm actually feeling that the cup is half empty. I think the happenings the last week, or in fact the last few months, has sort of, in a way, for businesses, sort of you felt that the carpet is just pulled off your feet and you sort of killed over. and yet you have to sort of stand up again and say what's in place for the next 24 months. And what's happening is that the whole business environment seems to be independent of, or rather the stock market value, etc. It seems to be independent of some of the honest economic activities that's happening on the ground. That there is a sort of a trend that seems to be reeling on its own despite of good businesses. And the media is drumming up more and even more dramatic and sometimes negative images, stories of the worst, and therefore beating the confidence level of the markets and the people. All in all, there is fear, there is sense of insecurity, there is the where are we going sort of panic in the people sector, including the businesses. And the real reality is there are so many of my sons, my son's working in New York, a lot of his Singaporean friends have been retrenched. My brother's in China, a lot of the factories are closed down. His is in the process. So when you ask, where can business go? Business seems to be the ones that get pushed out when at good times they have to donate, they have to do a lot of things. At bad times, no one coming in with any kind of rescue plan, and they're the first to be taken off. So when we ask now what then is the role for businesses, go back to the fundamentals. You have to disregard all that's going on here. You cannot control. We can't control the macro market sometimes, the invisible hands of markets, something which is beyond us. But what we can control as leaders of business corporations is to continue to keep to the fundamentals. So the last month, what I issued to our group, it's one on preservation. We look at continuous staff learning. We continue looking at our CSR programs. It had not taken us away from what we set out to do with our stakeholders. Because we feel that, particularly what has happened in Mumbai reflects the marginalizations and the lack of attention we have put to vulnerable communities in the first place in the last 30 years. At the very outset, the world has not improved over the last 30 years' progress. And there are too many groups that are still marginalized and created that sense of deprivation and relative poverty, and therefore creating the kind of hate and vengeance, and etc. So that's the sad part of it. If the governments are weak and not doing enough, businesses have to step in. And here we have governments that will fix more policies and more collaborative partnerships with businesses. We have information that we get from institutions to then know how to move with those information for better strategies, more empowerment strategies. And then we have media to help tell it all. And businesses, I think, can look at mobilizing resources to design programs to reach out. But more important, I think, we could create access. And one quick example I would like to give is the ITC or ICT company in India. I learned of their case study. It's impressive. It's a $19 billion business. What it does is to create access for rural farmers, to let them have more information about where markets can be so they can sell more. And also on crop information so that they grow better crops. So with quality improved, it's the access to product and services they're providing to these rural farmers. And as a business corporation, this is an incredible model. It's a partnership program. And what they're offering is aligning their core competencies in technology to offer the information to the farmers. That I see is the promising role of businesses, that it can be profitable and it can be for good values and for society.
Claire, thank you. Some very thought-provoking ideas in there. Can I just pick up on one of those and ask Dr. Teo? I think Claire's made a very interesting point. And developments in Mumbai reflecting on the problems of marginalization of individuals and marginalization in community. people dropping out of the system, people getting angry. Can I ask you, just shifting away from the business focus, what role do you see as government in dealing with those problems? Claire has said that she believes that government should address those problems. Here in Singapore, what do you do to make sure that there's social inclusion? And how do you work with the community?
Take a seat.